Alright, so today we're going to go over Python virtual environments, and we're going to also go over creating a requirements file. So when you go into Git, for example, and you see people have requirement files that you can do the pip install from, we're going to show you how they create that. So to get started, we're going to go over here, and I'm just going to hit CMD, bring up my command line, and open this up. I'm going to blow this up so you guys can see it a little bit better. So to figure out what version of Python I'm using, I can do Python version, and it tells me I'm using 3.11.4. Now, if I want to sit there and figure out, let's say, what I have installed on there for packages, I can do a PIP Freeze, and that's going to show everything that I have installed on my main Python. So I might not want to do this and put a whole bunch of programs on there or scripts. And the reason why is because if I update some of these versions, some of my other scripts may or may not work because they might not be compatible. TensorFlow is probably a good example of that because the lower versions had a different syntax than the newer version, so they would break. So the best thing to do is to virtualize your environment. So I'm going to switch over to my D drive, and just to show you, I only have one thing in here, which is my tweets. But what I'm going to end up doing is create the virtual environment. So I'm just going to hit Python -M, and then I'm going to do VENV, and then I can name it whatever I want, but just for demonstrations, I'm just going to put VENV again. And what that's going to do is that's going to create the virtual environment for me. So we're going to give that a second to run. Now that it ran, if I go to directory, I see that I have that VENV in there, right there. And to activate it, to actually use it, all I got to do is go into the VENV. It's going to be in my scripts, and I'm going to hit activate. And now it's activated. Now you see that I have that VENV, and I have the parentheses around it. So if I end up doing a PIP freeze now, you're not going to see nothing in there because I haven't put any packages in there. So let's say I want to PIP install Pandas. Then I run that, and that's going to sit there and download the Pandas and the dependencies that goes with that. And then we'll give that a second to run. And then once it's run, then we can run the PIP freeze command again, and I can show you that it has everything actually installed for those new packages. Alright, so now that everything's installed, if I go back over here and I hit the PIP freeze again, I have these files right here, these packages right here. So now that we see the packages and stuff, I can do the PIP freeze, and then I do the caret, and I'm going to name that Requirements.txt. And now if I do a directory, right, we have it, and see we have the Requirements.txt already created right there. So if I do Notepad and I do Requirements.txt, and actually, did I misspell it? I did. You gotta spell it correctly. But anyway, I have it up here, and then right up here, it has my requirements file up there. So I have everything in there. So now the next thing I want to do is just deactivate this, right? So if I deactivate, now notice I'm back in my regular D drive. And then if I do a pip freeze now, I have all those other ones, right? So if I go back into my VENV and I do the scripts, if I can type today, and activate, and do a pip freeze, and you notice it's a lot shorter. So this keeps my environment not bloated, and I have less chances of mixing and matching different versions in my programs, so they won't, chances are they won't break because I updated something that I shouldn't have, that another script requires a lower version. So the last thing I want to kind of show you here is just how to use that file. So you remember we created the requirements file. So if I do a pip install -r and then I do the, and I'm going to misspell this because remember my file is misspelled. But that's all you do, pip install -read requirements.txt. And what that's going to do, it tells me they're already satisfied, but if they want installed, they would automatically install for you guys. And that's pretty much it, how you use a virtual environment. It's a short video, but that's all we got for today.